Say anything daw. Pero, ay, pinsan. Ano ba yun? So far, good. Out of boredom, I have to do this. I mean, yeah, ako lang mag-isa dito sa bahay, so I just have to do some other stuff aside from cleaning the house. Baka mapanis yung laway ko eh. Ako lang mag-isa sa bahay, so yeah. I'm good so far. So, I'm good. Ganito pala itsura ko pag naka-live. Mhm. Let's turn off the camera there. There you go. I hope you guys hear me. If there's somebody out there watching, aside from the two people that I see here on the live stream, I think it's me and my cousin. Just a little. Yeah, it's PM here. 9:24. PM here. Sa YouTube pa talaga tayo nag-chat eh, no? Wala na bang ibang option? Let's talk about what? What do you want to talk about? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. What do you want to know? What do I want to share? Oh, wait. I think I have something to show you guys. Eh, wala dito. No, I don't have it here. Wala na. Can you find one that? I think I know. Yun. Ay! Sorry. Ah. Okay, guys, I want to show you something. This is actually a cut-out series. Well, supposed to be series, kaya lang hininto ko siya. Kasi, I don't know, tinamad ako maybe. But just to show you what I did previously. Here. This is a cut-out paper. Well, actually, it's inspired by my veterinary medicine students. Shout out sa mga DVM 1A guys. Kayo yung inspiration ng cut-out series ko na to dapat. And this was actually supposed to be given as a gift. Not necessarily a gift, but as a prize. Bayan o sarili. It's Carabao and the araw. And parang we are a agriculture country, but somehow our agriculture industry is medyo hindi siya ganun kasuportado dati. But as for now, since I am actually teaching in a agricultural school, so there's a lot of funding and for research, and at the same time, funding for scholarships lalo na sa mga estudyante na gustong mag-take ng agriculture. But it's not just agriculture, but pati na rin sa mga veterinary medicine. No? So, yun yung kwento ng cut-out series na to. I was supposed to give this to someone, it's just that hindi natuloy or makalimutan ko sino yung humingi. Ganun. So, pa-shoutout tayo kay Asrin Baraocor. Yan. Thank you po sa panonood. Kahit tatlo lang tayo nandito ngayon sa live streaming na to. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. And for those people who subscribe to my channel, even though wala akong masyadong pinapost na videos, recently, actually hindi lang recently, it's like matagal na panahon, but you still keep watching those old videos that I made long time ago. I have some stock images and videos about my tour sa iba't ibang community dito sa Pampanga and sa Zambales. And I still have some sa mga travels ko so far. Like, problema ko lang kasi for now is wala akong maayos na PC. All I have is an old desktop to which I'm trying to rebuild. 2012 desktop, but I'm just trying to rebuild it right now para makapag-create ako ng videos. So yan. But sooner or later, within this lockdown period na hindi pa normales, I can have more time to edit some videos with the help of my friends. So yun. Again, thank you Asrin Baraocor for watching. Kahit tatlo lang tayo. Ayun, apat na tayo. So we're hopefully there are, sa mga nanonood, ano naman dyan? Shoutout ko kayo. Tatlo na nga lang tayo eh. Kay Ruth, yeah. So, pinsan ko, yes. Hello there. Buti dyan, gabi. Dito pala gabi. Umaga na dyan. So, yeah. Yun. Ay, salamat po. Oh, lesson. Speaking of lesson, what else? Ano bang gusto niyo pang o siguro magkukwento na lang ako, no? Since mahilig din naman ako na magkwento, tuloy-tuloy. Why not just tell you guys some other stories? Okay, let me find the thing na pwede kong uling ikwento. Ano pa bang meron dito sa table ko? Actually, guys, you don't want to see my table because it's so really messy. Messy yung table ko. Let me see my wallet. If there's something I can share to you. Uh-huh. Sayang kasi tinanggal ko na yung picture ng the one that got away sa wallet. So, wala na siya. The one that got away nga, di ba? Pero alam nyo, mahal ko yun. Mahal ko yun kasi hanggang ngayon may tama pa rin ako sa kanya. Alam mo yung tao na you once learned to somehow love, and you cannot simply forget the memories. Although sometimes the memories will kill you. But to me, those memories are something that makes me like this, this happy face every now and then. Because what we had is a good one, a good memories per se. Good. We never had a serious fight, although mga di pagkakaintindihan minsan, pero ganun lang yan eh. I mean, what I remember and in-appreciate ko rin, of course. Ang birthday ko nun, she had a cake, she gave me a cake. Although hindi talaga ako makain ng chocolate cake, particularly. Kasi may butas yung ngipin ko, sakit. Pero naubos ko yung cake kasi bigay niya eh. Sayang naman. No, I really appreciate that. Because, I just remember during those days, birthdays when you were a kid and you don't have money to spend to buy some stuff, and sa mga instead of ibibili mo ng bagay na hindi mo kailangan, so ibili mo na lang ng mga bagay sa, like for example, foods, bahay, ganun. So yeah, tapos nung time na binigyan ako, especially ibang tao pa yung nagbigay sa akin ng cake, so parang talagang may konting significance ba sa akin. Yeah. Well now, she's ayoko na sabihin yung profession niya, pero yan. Sana mag-cross yung landas natin na uli. Pero pag nag-cross yung landas natin, will you marry me na agad? Para wala nang pasikot-sikot. Para diretso na. So yan. Sad. Dalawa. Sino to? Hello. Thank you. Another story to tell. I'm holding right now hawak ko dito yung aking blue book ng college. Ayan. Ayan po, Norman King. Norman King. Well, hindi naman talaga ako ganun katalino, guys. Siguro sabihin natin na madiskarte. Kahit paano. So yeah, it's 83%. That's 2.0. Actually, BS 155, ito yung isa sa pinaka-memorable ko na subject. BS 155, it's more of a, pakinggan to ni Ma'am Andy. Abnormal psychology, ayan. Abnormal psychology talks about more of yung mga abnormal meaning, when you say abnormal kasi, you have to consider kung kaninong perspective ba natin to tinitingnan. Is it like the Western type of culture or Western defined abnormal or Filipino perspective na abnormal? So you have to consider that. Pero since it's a subject, and psychology is mostly defined naman sa academically, mostly Western, so yun yung perspective. Pero seryoso, as in every 5 minutes talaga nun, lumalabas ako sa klase kasi nai-information overload ako. Na-info overload ako dun sa pinag-aaralan, like, disorder. Sometimes kasi we as Filipinos, we see things as parang normal siya. Na parang para sa ibang tao, hindi siya normal, pero para sa atin, normal naman siya. And lalo pa tayo mga Pilipino, hindi tayo sa Pilipinas, alam naman natin na napaka-diverse ng Philippines when it comes to our cultural settings. So may mga panahon minsan na, okay, wait, Asrin, yes ma'am, saan po lugar? Ako po ay nandito sa Pampanga, sa Porac, Pampanga. Yan. Porac, Pampanga po. Sandali lang ha. Yan. And going back to discussion natin about, my subject. It's about, on how we see yung abnormal. Kanino bang perspective natin ito nakikita? Meron din po. Sorry. Yun, kanina bang perspective? So, in the eyes, sa perspective ng isang katutubo kasi minsan, may mga sitwasyon na para sa iba, parang hindi siya normal, pero para sa amin, okay lang siya. For example, example na lang po natin, the way we see yung sabihin natin may mental retardation, or sabihin natin yung may pagkukulang sa kanilang pag-iisip. Sa amin, we treat them as parang pantay. Like, hindi as much as possible, we don't want them to feel na they were different. Although sometimes, andun yung mga pag-iingat. Kasi, parang, you have to consider din minsan kasi na hindi talaga stable minsan yung kanilang way of thinking. So, may mga part lang minsan doon lang nag-iingat din for you when that time comes. But all throughout the day, when we talk to them, when we communicate with them, it's just like normal. Kasama sila sa mga activities na ginagawa sa bundok, kaya sa bahay, nag-iigib, nangangahoy, sinasama sila as much as possible. Frequent yung communication sa kanila to make them feel that they were still part of the community. So for us, we try to compensate doon sa kakulangan ng tao, and we do not see it as something as like a disorder for them. Wait lang, cut. Hindi namin siya nakikita na disorder para sa amin. Pinakikisamahan namin sila ng normal lang para part pa rin ng community. Although nare-recognize namin yung kakulangan nila sa ganung aspeto ng kanilang buhay, pero hindi namin tinitingnan ito as something para ilayo sila, parang hiwalay sila sa amin, tapos kami yun. Hindi. So, yun. Doon yung portion ng aking study sa school na medyo, sa subject na yun, na medyo pumipitik yung utak ko every time na parang gusto kong intindihin na maigi yung tinuturo sa akin ng teacher namin. But somehow, bumabalandra yung experience ng tao, yung experience ko bilang ako. Yung nakita ko, observations ko, gano'n. So, bumabalandra siya. So, kaya nagkakaroon ako ng dilemma in understanding yung subject. Kaya, yun yung isa sa mga naalala ko talaga ng subjects na siguro ang interval ko is 10 minutes. Pagtapos ko makinig sa teacher ko, lalabas ako for 5 minutes just to pahingahin yung utak ko kasi natotorete siya dun sa information na ini-intake. So yun, one of the memorable subjects, BS 155 by Professor Andrea Martinez. Ay si Mama Andy nasa ibang bansa ngayon taking her PhD. Yeah. And hopefully when she comes back here in the Philippines, UP Manila ulit, and yeah, hope to visit you again, ma'am. Ayun, may nag-comment. I hope na maging successful kayo din. God bless po. Thank you po, Ma'am Luz Dana. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. Speaking of successful, successful is a state of mind. Oh, well, I'd like to talk about that. Successful. In what kind of perspective? Thank you, Ma'am Luza, sa actually, nagpipick up na lang ako ng pwedeng pag-usapan kasi first time ko po itong ganito, stream. Ruth, later I will go back to your comment, but let's talk about first about successful. Successful kasi, ito yung medyo whenever we talk about successful, sometimes we equate success to money, wealth, but sometimes, fame, money, popularity-wise. And that's, nakikilala ka ng tao. And then somehow we equate successful at something you have good, material na bagay. Big house, ganun. Tapos, you have a nice car, you have a good job, you're earning big. But in some other aspects of life, ito sa akin bilang isang batang Aita, katutubo. Success siguro for me, it's not just yung magkaroon ka ng ganitong material na bagay, but in an experience, yung kilalanin ka ng tao from different communities, yung magkaroon ka ng authority in a way na influence, pagkilala. For me, that is a success. Because something na kapag may sinabi ka, nakikinig yung mga tao sa'yo, and they were listening, tinetake into consideration nila yung masasabi mo for that. I'm talking about this in the perspective of an IT leader. Na may influensya at may power yung sinasabi mo or yung suggestions at advice mo sa kanila. That is success to me. Because you cannot, kasi sa panahon na yun, bihira makinig ang mga tao sa mga nanunungkulan. Parang ang hirap pasunurin. Pero once you have that kind of authority or respected authority sa kanila, that is success. Material things would just come, well, yeah, I still do recognize that you still have, kailangan mo rin yan. Lalo na na-experience ko ngayon, yes, nakapagtapos ako, but I have materials and stuff, but sometimes hindi yun eh. Meron pa rin talaga na kailangan appropriate yung mga bagay na kinokolekta mo. Kolekta in a meaning na yung ginagamit mo. Example, for me, one of the materials siguro na pinakakailangan ko sa lahat, aside from the things, is I need to have a car. Although yes, may sasakyan po ako na ginagamit, but it should be, ito na yung criteria, it should be 4x4. Get a pickup truck, and it should go kaya pumunta sa mga bundok talaga. Bakit? Kasi kung gagamit ako ng sasakyan na hindi siya 4x4 capable, na hanggang road lang siya, mahirapan ako to reach that far, especially sa mga sulok-sulok na lugar. That's why when I had Marco, my car, was actually, happy kami ng tatay ko doon nung nabili siya. When I had Marco, it gives me, parang binigyan niya pa ako ng another access to sa mga communities na dapat kong puntahan at dapat kong i-document. Because what I'm doing right now, as part of my doing is that nagpupunta ako sa mga lugar, sa mga sulok-sulok na lugar, sa mga remote areas para mag-document, i-share yung stories nila sa online or sa social media platform para magkaroon din ng makita rin ng ibang tao yung situation nila. Last year, we went to sa San Marcelino, to which hindi na namin nabalikan kasi ngayon may pandemic, and same time medyo may mga bagay na kailangan trabahuin. But yun, babalikan ko pa rin yung San Marcelino one of these days. And makakapunta ka lang doon if you have a 4x4 capable ng vehicle. So yun, going back, success. Yeah, I have to have that. Otherwise, hindi ko mapupuntahan. Bakit ko ba kailangan puntahan yung mga lugar na yun? Bakit hindi na lang ako mag-focus sa ginagawa ko ngayon? Like, for example, teaching in a university, and that would still mean success. But to me, success is quite different. Yun nga, magkakaiba tayo ng definition ng success. For me to reach, sa akin, ang success para sa akin is para ma-reach out ko pa yung mga community sa amin. Hindi lang sa amin, pati yung mga community sa iba't ibang lugar, maabot sila, malaman yung kwento ng buhay nila at kung pamumuhay at maiparating din naman sa ibang tao or maikwento sa ibang tao. To me, as a purpose of what I have studied in the past, for me, that could mean success to me. So yun. Family, yes. Gusto ko pa rin magkaroon ng family, but tagal pa yun. I still wanted to study. That's another portion of me, would like to be defined successful. So yun, Ma'am Luz, thank you for that. Thank you sa comment mo dyan. So let's go to Micah's Ruth. So would abnormal mean refer to those who have mental health problems and understanding them? Again, depende. Yung abnormal is depende kung kaninong perspective ba yung nais mong or yung ginagamit mo. If you are going to be a professional, abnormal would mean labas doon sa criteria ng pagiging professional. That can be coined as abnormal. But if you're going to use the perspective, for example, to me, a perspective ng isang Aita, before you say abnormal doon sa isang bagay, maintindihan kita kung pareho tayo ng iniisip, kung pareho tayo ng standing point or pag-unawa doon sa bagay na pinag-usapan natin. Otherwise, kapag magkaiba tayo ng pagkakaunawa or pagkakaintindi doon sa bagay na pinag-uusapan natin and we parang ini-insist natin na hindi, dapat ganito yan. Sa akin, iba yung pangunawa. Hindi, normal yan. Diba? So, the end of the day, walang nangyayari. So, magiging, ang point about abnormal is, the abnormal term is quite relative. Relative in the way na, yun nga, dahil magkakaiba tayo, kailangan mo na i-define kung ano ba yung perspective or point of view na pinag-uusapan natin bago natin pag-usapan or lay down yung ating discussion about what is abnormal and abnormal. To whose perspective muna yung pinag-uusapan natin? Are we talking about the professional perspective or are we talking about the cultural aspect of what is abnormal or what is normal and what is abnormal? So yun. When it comes to mental health problems, okay, dito natin, issue ng mental health. As a behavioral science perspective, yes, I do recognize that there are, and mental health issues actually existing. And that's why we, with the recent passing of the bill, I don't know if it's last year or this year lang napasa yung batas. And yes, I'm very thankful that it came to be a law. Ipasa yung batas na yun for mental health law dito sa Pilipinas. At least kahit pa ano nare-recognize na siya na nare-recognize na and talagang kailangan naman talaga i-recognize na may mga mental health issues or problems dito sa Pilipinas. Kailangan natin siyang tutukan kasi nakikita na natin yung resulta ngayon. There are some who actually would resort into suicide, would resort into isolation, and yung connectivity kasi once na nagiging distant tayo sa ibang tao is that nagkakaroon yung nagiging less yung communication natin doon nag-start talaga yung kung ano yung naisip natin. So yun, nagkakaroon na nag-start na yun nagkakaroon ng mental health. Or otherwise naman, as psychology would explain, ito yung some other perspectives in psychology, ito ay mga bagay na nakaka-apekto sa ating pag-iisip because of our experiences in the past. Childhood memories or childhood experiences. So yun. May mga perspectives na nag-explain about kung paano nag-trigger yung ating mga mental health problems. Okay. Edralyn Magora. Hello po. Thank you for watching. Burley and Yan. Oh, thank you po. My God, signal. Ganun po talaga. Pati sa akin minsan medyo mahina yung signal pero okay lang. So I have a question. Ano po tingin niyo sa Muslims? Muslims. Thank you, Ma'am Asrin Baraokor for your question. Ano po ang tingin ko pagdating sa mga Muslim? Actually, ang tingin ko po pagdating sa mga kapatid ng Muslim is para rin ito yung gusto ko about. Well, thank you for bringing out that question. Because I'm a teacher, so technically I teach, And ito yung minsan binabrought out ko sa mga students when it comes to discussion inside the classroom, especially in the part of history, no? Minsan, anong tawag dito? Okay, yung ating edukasyon, alam naman po natin na ito ay ibinase sa Western type of education system. And so, kung ano man yung dinidiscuss sa loob ng klase is kadalasan, ito ay yung mga kabilang dun sa mga bagay na gustong ituro sa atin ng mga taong, sabihin natin, naghaharing uri. Sorry for the term, but I had just to use that. Naghaharing uri, hindi naman bibig sabihin na sila yung pinaka-dominant. It's just that sila yung malaking impluensya when it comes to crafting that idea of teaching. Now, when it comes to the education system, is that it is largely influenced by yung Christianismo. Since it's actually, came from the Western, so it's mostly Christianized. And prior to that as well is that we have the influence of the Spaniards. So it's more of the Christianized education system. Now, bakit kinikwento ko muna to bago ko sagutin yung tanong ni Ma'am Nasrin? Is that kasi ito na yung nagiging basehan, or ito na yung continuing discussion or inside the classroom, na kung saan nakakalimutan na natin banggitin naman yung nasa Mindanao, yung ibang islands sa Pilipinas, so the Visayas and the Muslim Mindanao areas. Nakakalimutan i-recognize, okay? Na ito yung sinasabi ko sa mga student na sino ba talaga yung mga tunay na Pilipino? Yun yung una kong tanong, sino yung mga tunay na Pilipino? Una sa lahat, proud ba kayo na tinatawag kayong mga Pilipino? Tingnan natin ang history. Sino ba sa Pilipinas ang hindi nasakop ng mga Kastila? Sino ba sa Pilipinas ang lumaban sa kanilang karapatan versus the Spaniards? Hindi ba't ang mga Muslim, di ba? Lapu-lapu defended yung sa mga isla. Okay? Kung tutuusin, sila yung walang halo. Ibig sabihin, walang nahalong ay ideolohiya or doktrina sa kanila na nanggaling sa ibang bansa. Kung meron man dapat tawaging Pilipino, ay sila yun. Pero, let's talk about the term Filipino. Kanino ba nagsimula ang term Filipino? Las Islas Filipinas, pinangalan sa isang hari, King Philip. Ano bang kinamatay ni King Philip? Di ba? Kung i-research mo ano yung dahilan ng pagkamatay niya at bakit tayo tinawag na Filipino, feeling mo hindi mo kaya tatanungin kung ba't Filipino, di ba? So ako tatanungin, ito sinasabi ko sa mga students, siguro, I'd rather be called Maharlika, nobleman, di ba? Nobleman, Maharlika. Mas maganda pakinggan yan kaysa dun sa Filipino. But the thing is, since we are using Filipino as the politically correct term right now, are identifying the residents or the residents of our country, the Philippines. And so, Filipino is being used mostly, or ito na yung pinaka-standard na ito yung identity na natin niya. But there's nothing wrong about being Filipino right now, this age. But before, ng mga panahon, you have to consider that timeline. Kapag Filipino, is that yun yung connotation ng pakiramdam sa identity mo as Filipino. Ano yung pakiramdam ng mga bayani na nabuhay sa panahon ng Kastila nung sila ay tinatawag na Indio, di ba? Filipino. So yun. Going to the current situation, what I think about the Muslims, marami akong hindi alam pagdating sa kultura ng Muslim. Ang mga alam ko lang ay pagdating sa Quran, may libro na binabasa. Parang Kristiyano rin. No? May Biblia tayo sa Kristyanismo at sa Muslim na may Quran. Mas gusto ko pang matuto actually. Kung meron ng pagkakataon na umupo at magtanong, pakinggan yung aral ng Muslim. Actually, gustong-gusto ko po yun. Para magkaroon ako ng mas malawak na perspektibo dun sa bagay na hindi ko alam. Ganun po kasi talaga ako. I mean, I really wanted to learn from other people's experience and to learn from what their beliefs. I wanted to keep my mind open as much as possible. Para, andun kasi yung respeto at paggalang eh. Doon mo kasi makukuha yung ano ng tao, yung kung gusto mo irespeto kanila, irespeto mo rin sila sa kanilang paniniwala. Hindi yung isasaksak mo yung, alam mo yun, yung minsan yung parang ginagawa ng ibang tao. Sorry for that, kasi it's just that observation ko lang to. Yung parang pinipilit mo, isaksak sa lala mo, sa ano nila yung paniniwala na hindi naman talaga katanggap-tanggap para sa kanila. You don't do that. The only thing that you can do is to tell them, to share with them. If they don't want it, then it's fine. You just have to respect them, what they believe in. Okay, vice versa. Para sa ganun, pareha pa rin, magkaiba man tayo ng paniniwala is nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng mabuting komunikasyon. Okay, respeto sa bawat isa. So, yun. Actually, marami pa talaga akong gustong, ang napuntahan ko lang kasi so far, conferences, Davao, CDO, Cagayan de Oro, yun pa lang so far. So, yun. One of the few things as well na sinasabi ko sa klase is we should give more time in understanding. Parang bakit wala tayong masyadong, I mean, in the teaching profession, bakit walang masyadong readings about the history of the Muslim community? Bakit hindi ito masyadong nadi-discuss in classes? Bakit meron tayong Rizal subject? Bakit wala tayong Muslim studies, particularly na tinuturo regularly, on a regular basis, sa mga subjects? So yun yung akin. Yun yung parang nakikita ko na siguro kailangan, as a teacher, kailangan natin kahit pa paano bigyan ng balanse yung tinuturo natin sa mga estudyante. Kasi mga estudyante nakikinig sa atin. So might as well, sa atin din nanggaling na kailangan natin bigyan ng balanse yung pagkilala sa ating kasaysayan, hindi lang sa mga nagawa ng ating mga bayani dito sa Luzon area, pero pati na rin yung mga bayani na yung kabayanihan na ginawa sa Muslim community. So yun po Ma'am Asrin, yung aking perspective about the Muslim community, and I would still love to know more about the culture. And if there would be time to immerse myself in communities, I would love to do so. So yun po. Okay, next. Saying Potato, do you listen to EXO? I do apologize, but I don't listen to EXO. I see them actually in some social media websites, but I don't usually pay attention much because I'm a 90s kid. 90s kid, ang mga batang 90s kasi kami yung transition ng what we have, the 90s kids are actually the best childhood that we ever had. Yung mga nabuhay ng 90s transitioning to 2000 hanggang sa is yun yung best for us. Kami yung transition ng technology. Noong mga time na yun, when we were still kids, we really like to play a lot outside, some of the yung mga Holland, Tex, playing outside. Listening to music is not a thing before when we were kids, but to you guys right now in the millennial sa millennial period, tumusbong yung musika, OPM dati sa amin. Tapos ngayon, haluan ng yung ng K-pop, yan. So, yeah. It's just a preference of music. And to me, if I don't understand the music, I don't listen much out of it. Because music kasi, it affects your brain, your emotions, your mood. Okay? Malaki ang epekto ng musika sa sa pagkokondisyon ng tao, ng pagkokondisyon ng mood niya. If you wanted to have a good day, you should have to listen first to good music at first. Para sa ganun ma-motivate. May mga study music to motivate your mind. Okay, so it affects. What kind of music I listen to is gusto ko ng mga music na actually binabasa ko yung lyrics . If the lyrics is not good to me, I'm not gonna listen to it anymore kahit maganda yung beat niya, okay? Pero pag hindi maganda yung ibig sabihin ng lyrics niya, yung ibig niya sabihin, never mind. So yun. So yeah, yung mga panahon namin, River Maya, okay? Parokya ni Edgar, you know, the best of OPMs. That was Sugar Free, and marami actually, Hail. Hail actually, one of the few things, high school days, Hail. Yun. Tapos kami, I mean, it's my, panahon din namin yung boy bands, like for example, the Westlife, you know, Westlife, A1, ganun. So, yun. Basta gusto ko yun, ano. Tapos may mga gusto rin akong kanta ng mga oldies songs, like for example, She. She would be the face I can't forget. Yun. Paulo Coelho ba yun? I don't remember. Basta mga classic, yeah. No, hindi talaga. Not with the K-pop thing. No. Although pinalaki ako ng Koreano. Just for the record, I'm telling this to you guys, and that so you guys are aware. Lumaki po ako sa bahay ampunan. Ang nag-aalaga sa amin ay Koreano. Okay? First, that's 3 years of my life. We were in a Korean missionary's house. We were taught to eat kimchi, you know, to talk a little Korean. Pero since matagal na yan, mga 1994, 5, and 6, kaya medyo nakalimutan ko na. So yeah. So it's just a preference of, you know, music actually. See. Sa inyo ano pong stand nyo about sa may gusto ng academic freeze? Agree classic songs are great. Okay, so Sign Potato, later on I'll go to that, but balikan lang natin ilang questions. Alam ko po, PSAU, bago ako natigil, naging teacher ko siya. Nick Mark Solomon, yes, I'm a teacher at PSAU, Pampanga State Agricultural University. Yes, our appreciation. As much as possible, when I teach art appreciation, I would like to make my students realize how relevant art, especially nowadays, art is really, it almost everything. Basic of arts, yung tinuturo ko, kung ano yung applicability niya, aside from those, you know, about paintings and kung ano yung mga genres, ano ba yung, ano na sa buhay nito, ano ba yung applicability ng mga paintings ngayon sa dati, sa panahon nila, timeline nila, up until now. But as much as possible, hindi ako pinapasadaan ko lang yan, pero gusto ko ma-focus yung mga estudyante about art, kung ano yung local arts. Kasi ito yung mga dying arts minsan eh. Marami tayong mga dying arts dito sa Pilipinas, especially within the local areas. Sabihin natin, for example, the art of pottery sa vegan, yan, kailangan ma-revive yan. You know, the OTO, it's actually a part of the government projects, One Town, One Product. It's you know, enriching yung art appreciation ng mga tao sa mga lugar nila. Now, in every region in the area, may mga arts dyan na makikita ka na minsan hindi nabibigyan ng suporta. But we should, at least within this time we have right now, we should pay attention to those kind of arts. Kasi pag hindi natin pay attention yan, walang nag-practice ng mga arts na yan sa atin. Dahil sa mga bata ngayon, maglalaho yan. Okay? Magiging dying art na yan. So sa amin, ano ba yung art na meron sa amin? Sa amin kasi mostly, it's about, since we are hunters and gatherers yung naging practice dati, siguro, the use of bows and arrows, konti na lang yung gumagawa nun, and konti lang din yung nakakagawa nun at nagpa-practice. Actually, I do know how to make a bow and arrow. It's just that, you know, it takes some time. But yes, may mga collections ako up until now ng bows and arrows. So yes, kailangan relevant yung art sa buhay ng tao. Actually, art din yung naging way para sa akin sa photography. That's why I really appreciate. Basta, when it comes to photography, I really like, you know, pagsasama, doon ko nilalabas yung art purpose, and at the same time yun yung nagiging outlet ko para ma-focus, ma-motivate at saka mapag-focus ako sa mga bagay na ginagawa ko. It's like going back to the nature but, you know, reconnecting. So yun yung ginagawa ko. Okay, where else? Just what's Maharlika? Go to that later. Edrelin Magora, yes. Samsim, mismo, 90s years, the best, yes. Um, yeah, but you can, I mean, yes, you can still listen to 90s music actually. Available naman sila sa YouTube and all, some recordings. Lalo na sa panahon ngayon, like, you know, it's just a data away. You could listen to old songs. It's really great actually. Nasa lyrics talaga kasi mas mahirap. Nick Mark Solomon, nasa lyrics talaga kasi mas mahirap makinig pag ramdam mo. Yes, sakto. Kuha mo. Kuha mo. Yes. Iba kasi, ano eh. What I really like about OPM, pag Tagalog versus English yung kinakanta mo. Pag Tagalog kasi mas tagos eh. Kasi alam mo yung alam mo yung meaning ng lyrics na binabanggit mo. Hindi ka tulad pag English, minsan sumasabay ka na sa beat. Okay? Minsan parang hindi mo siya ramdam kasi it's not necessarily your first language at all. Nang makaka-impact sa atin is yung first language natin, which is Tagalog. And if it's Tagalog, iba yung dating. Okay? Iba yung impact nito sa atin. Kaya, yes, when it comes to music talaga, I still wanted to go to, listen to OPMs. And speaking of, yeah, I mean, Ben and Ben is actually a good one. Playlist ko yan sa Spotify nung may ba. Well, yeah. But, sumichampo lang pag internet. Ano ba? Wait, sino next? Pero wala akong natutunan. Meron kay magpapaano na hirap kasi self-study ka na. Yes. Mahirap pag self-study. Song artist. Actually, nagko-concert po ako sa videoke. Pag ako nahawak ng microphone sa videoke, talaga naman nagko-concert ako. Medyo pero tagal na rin ako ng videoke kaya yun. I really like the song, but I mean, I really, like singing. Pero wala naman talaga. Minsan lang, paminsan-minsan. Pero yeah, nagko-concert ako pag nakahawak ako ng microphone sa karaoke. Buhay Pinoy sa bayan ni Juan, Idol, pwede ko makipag-meet after ng call. Sure, pwede po. Why not? Isa pang malaking karangalan yan, no? Ang makilala yung mga taong sumusuporta sa akin. Sumuporta sa akin sa mga panahon na nandito na ako ngayon sa kinatatayan ko. Sure, walang problema. Just, sana nga, matapos na. Sana mayroon na pong vaccine, no? Para naman maka-avail na lahat ng tao at pwede na ulit tayo makagala. Kasi ako, kating-kating na rin po kasi yung paa ko eh. Gustong-gusto ko na talagang gumala. Okay? Kaya yun. Kung alam niyo lang, isa ako sa mga taong hindi mapakalis sa inuupuan ko. Kaya, parang mo kang pag pinaupo mo ako sa klase, parang mo sinasuffocate pa unti-unti. So, yung nature ko kasi talagang palipat-lipat. So, yeah. Yeah, sure. Wala pang problema. Let's set po tayo ng Pero dito po sa Pampanga kasi base po ako ngayon sa Pampanga. And I like to tour you around somewhere here in Pampanga if you want to meet someday. Okay, yeah. Idol, taga-Ermita ako sa Faura. Saan UP ko nag-graduate before? Sir, sa po ako? Sa UP Manila. Kung nasa Faura po kayo, sa Ermita, dyan lang po ang tambayan namin. Hey, Miss Faura. Namiss ko pala yung Faura. What did I miss? Yung kainan dun sa Malvar Street, sa tabi ng corner Taft Malvar, yung Don Pepots ba yun? Yun. Alam niyo ba mga kaibigan, nung nasa Manila ka lang, buhay estudyante. Ito yung mga, galawan namin eh. Pag may bagong allowance, sa Rob Ermita kakain. Tapos kapag medyo kalagitnaan na ng SEM, kalagitnaan na ng week na yung allowance mo, yung mga karinderya. Ngayon, pag Friday na, walang-wala na, show my rice na po yan. So, college days, suyod namin yung mga kanto sa Orosa, umabot ng Malbar, basta yung pinakamurang kainan talaga. yung mga iski-iskinita, pati yung siomai rice sa may tapat ng kanto ng Rob Ermita. Rob Ermita, kalimutan ko na. Puro sabay yun. Yung doon. Yun. Doon yung siomai rice sa kanto nun sa tabi ng Goodwill Bookstore. Yun. Sulit. Ano pa? Yes, UP Manila po ako, Ma'am Edrelyn. Opo, UP Manila po. Ano mo ang gumawa ng kanta? Mag-advise nyo sa akin. Okay, advice, Nick. When it comes, ito lang nakikita ko when it comes to songs, doon sa mga sumusulat, make it more, especially, kung gusto mo makaano ng mga tagahanga or tagapakinig. May mga kanta kasi na kapag pinakinggan mo yung lyrics niya, mas lalo kang madadown. Okay? May mga kanta naman, kapag pinakinggan mo yung lyrics niya, ma-uplift ka. May mga kanta na pag pinakinggan mo, sumasaya ka. May mga kanta na pwede mag-trigger ng memories mo para mabuhayan ka ulit. So it's up to you whether ano yung gusto mong ipakita dun sa kanta. Ano yung gusto mong kantahin? Or ano yung parte na gusto mong... Kasi you have to consider din yung makikinig sa'yo. Otherwise, hindi pwede na puro lang sa'yo, puro lang ikaw. No. Pwede rin yun. In terms na maano talaga yung may meaningful sa'yo yung part ng experience mo na yun at gusto mong i-write siya as a song. Pwede mong gawin yun. But if you are aiming na marami ring tao maka-appreciate ng kanta mo, then you have to consider other people as well. Yung nakaka-relate sila dun sa kinakanta mo. Ito nga yung nakikita ko dun sa... Actually, I don't know if you guys have watched kung pinakinggan nyo na yung kanta yung anak ni Manny Pacquiao and ni Jason Dacal. Ang nakikita ko kasi doon, ano lang to, sarili kong opinion, hindi po ito para sa ibang tao. When I both listen to their songs, ang gusto ko dun sa anak ni Manny Pacquiao, is that maganda yung message ng kanta niya, clear yung pagkaka-deliver, and yung beat niya, yung tipong beat na hindi ka, masasabay mo siya yung maabot mo yung level ng na gusto niyang ipahiwatig sa'yo na let's not hate, parang ganon, yung feeling na ganon. Nung pinakinggan mo yung kay Jason Dacal, he's good as an artist. As a singer. Yun nga lang kasi, pag pinakinggan mo ng tuloy-tuloy, yung mga kanta niya, when you listen to all of it, medyo mellow, mabagal. Hindi siya yung tipo ng kanta na pakikinggan mo kapag nag-chill ka na gusto mong masaya. Hindi siya ganon. Although, when it comes to yung creativity niya, in terms of that, okay siya, maganda yung kanta. So sa akin, ang makikita ko doon sa portion na yun is, sino ba yung mga audience na gusto mong makinig? Kasi gumawa ka ng kanta pero hindi rin naman makarelate or yung nakikinig dun sa and yung pagkaka-craft ng kanta niya parang hindi siya yung tipong kakantahin ng marami sa ibang tao when it comes to gusto nilang mabuhayan or pumarty or something like that. Yun nga. Medyo hindi siya papatok sa tao. Pero gusto mo, kailangan mo rin kasing i-touch yung hindi lang sa isip, kundi kailangan din may matrigger ka din sa emotions nila. Yung ganun, when it comes to writing of a song. Ito lang ay opinion ko, Nick, Hindi ito some professional advice, because I'm not even, how to say. It's just that that's what I see. Okay. Wait, saan tayo? Okay, buhay. Okay, saka taga-Faura sa bakery sa Faura, tapat ng LBC. Bakery. Parang natatandaan ko nga, may bakery bandang kanan. Bandang kanan ba yun? Tapat ng LBC. Siguro. Ito, pero ano, matagal na rin kasi. Hindi na ako nakabalik. So yun, let's Masrin ba, sir, if ikaw ba ay isang Muslim, paano mo i-handle pag ikaw po ay dinidiscriminate ng ibang tao or religion? How to handle? Ito po ay, Tom, okay, paano ba i-handle ang discrimination? Teka. Ito yung mahirap. If you're going to ask me, how will I handle it? Siyempre, hindi ako Muslim. I don't know the experience. Kaya no one is to validate kung ano yung... Hindi ko siya masasagot ng buo on how to handle it because I do not have that kind of experience. But in terms of handling discrimination, is that siguro, being a Naita, okay? I know I'm different. My skin color is different before when I was in... the things I see when I was in high school, yung pagiging iba. Bakit ba kakaiba ako? Bakit ba ako pinanganak na ganito? Bakit ako pinanganak na mahirap? Pero nag-iba yun nang nasa Manila na ako. When I went to Manila is actually a melting pot, of the Philippines. Where dito na nagpunta yung iba't ibang tao. Ngayon, naging na lang siya, nung pumunta nga ako ng Manila, nawala siya kasi. Pag may mga nakakasalamuha akong tao, pag nalaman nila nakatutubo ako, mas nagiging interesante pa sila. So parang, uy, talaga, katutubo ka? Taga saan? Ano yung ginagawa ninyo? Ganon. Sabi ko, uy, parang dito yata iba yung pakikitungo sa akin. No? Parang iba yung acceptance. Kumbaga may acceptance ako dito. Samantalang dun sa lugar namin, parang hirap. No? Parang doon kami na-discriminate. So, yun nga. Usually, ang discrimination nangyayari lang kung saan yung place or yung town mo. Okay? Nangyayari lang yun doon sa lugar mo mismo. Pero pag once na nakatravel ka at napunta ka doon sa mga diverse community na lugar, mararamdaman mo na mag-iiba yung pakikitungo nila sa iyo. And that's yung ako nung napunta ako ng Manila, that's when I realized na okay, hindi pala lahat ng tao is ganun yung tingin sa amin bilang mga katutubo. So that's when I began to realize and understand yung mas na-appreciate ko yung color of skin ko kasi napaka-unique ko nga, kakaiba ko, kulot yung buhok ko. Isipin mo, parang may tawag ako dun pag ina-explain ko yun Kumbaga, sa mga parang limited edition, napaka-unique mo. Hindi ikaw yung typical na nandyan. Okay? Kasi usually dinidiscriminate ka lang naman tao kapag feeling nila iba ka sa kanila. Mas okay na yung iba kaysa sa typical, di ba? Ibig sabihin, konti lang kayo na napaka-unique. Ibig sabihin, napaka-unique mo. Hindi ka katulad nila. Okay? You have a unique set of character, attitude, belief system. Okay? That makes you who you are. That makes unique about you. Kumpara dun sa typical na pinaghalo-halo na pare-pareho lang sila. Okay? Kumbaga, kung nagsha-shopping ka, if you were to shop, kadalasan makikita mo na mga medyo may kamahalan is yung mga rare or mga limited items. Na bilang tao, yung ako, gano'n ko siya nakikita. You are unique, you are limited edition. Kumbaga, iba yung pagdating sa presyo, mas okay yung sa'yo kaysa doon sa mga typical. Kasi nga, yung typical. Pero ikaw, rare, limited edition ka. You have that set of na parang wala silang ibang makikita kundi ikaw lang, di ba? Set of character, kundi ikaw lang. So, ganun yun. Ganun ko na-handle yung aking sa sarili when it comes to discrimination. Kaya yun, until such time na I came to realize and accept who I am. And kaya yun din yung naging focus nung safeguard na ginawa po namin. Kasi yun talaga yung, binase ko talaga yun sa experience ko. Kasi alam ko, yan yung isang bagay na lahat halos ng tao is makaka-relate. Okay? Yung discrimination na part. Now, when it comes to religion, ito na. Sa religion part naman, to make my point, I'd like to tell you, gusto ko na, kwento ko lang yung, kasi nag-handle din po ako ng mga subjects such as philosophy, ethics sa school. And of course, you have to follow yung discussion, the existence of God, you know. But then again, I am a Christian. So if I'm going to ask the students, did God exist? Diba? Parang I might discuss the facts and all this and that about the discussion about the reason ng tao, yung existence, okay? Pero at the end of the day, alam ko sa sarili ko na, yes, God exists. Okay? Bakit? Bakit God exists for me? Because that is my reality. Walang Norman King kung wala yung pagtulong ng Diyos sa akin. Okay? Kung wala yung guidance of Lord to me all throughout growing up years up until going to UP Manila and all. You know, yun yung reality ko. Okay? And I stick to that. Hindi ko yun, Now, when it comes to religion, bangayan ng ibang, ito yung mga nakikita natin online, mga nagbabangayan about religion, this and that. Na ganito, yung mali yung paniniwala nyo, belief system nyo, ganito. I don't dwell to that. Because at teachings in religions, I know that ang gusto ng mga nagturo or ng mga nagsulat ng mga bagay na pinaniniwalaan natin sa mga libro like Biblia and Quran is that it teaches us how, sa akin na nakikita ko para maging effective yun, is nakikita yun sa buhay ng tao na nag-a-apply. Like for example, if you are a Christian, you are not supposed to build bridges. I mean, you are not supposed to build walls. Hindi ikaw yung tao na gumagawa ng pader. Instead, you are building bridges para magkaroon ka ng connection sa iba't ibang tao. That way, you are actually doing what is presented in the Bible. Na maging mabuti kang ehemplo sa ibang tao. Hindi yung ikaw yung gumagawa ng pader para hindi makapagkaroon ng connection sa ibang tao. Okay? You are supposed to connect. Okay? You are supposed to reinforce yung kabutihan, okay, na ginawa ng Panginoon, kailangan ma-extend yun sa ibang tao. Hindi yun nakikipagbangayan ka para dun sa paniniwala ng ibang tao. Okay? Maaaring magkaiba kayo ng denominasyon, pero dapat nagkakasundo kayo kasi ang goal lang naman, ang biggest lang naman na tinuturo, one of the teachings in the Bible is that you have to love one another. Paano i-express yung love kung kayo nagbabangayan tapos nakikita pa kayo ng ibang tao? Nakikita kayo ng mga miyembro ninyo na nagbabangayan kayo in a particular discussion. Why not love each other? Okay? So, ganun din yun sa iba't ibang paniniwala. You have to consider kung respeto mo ang paniniwala na at pakita mo na kung ikaw nagsishare ka about your belief system, it should be shown into your action. Hindi yung para mo sinasaksak sa kanila yung napaniwalaan mo to, ganun, hindi. It should be shown into your actions. Now, that's what I believe, okay? That's just simply my opinion. It's not something of a professional advice. Okay? So yun, that's how I try to handle when it comes to belief systems. Now, in what I did before when I was in, I try to understand yung Catholic, I try to understand yung Mormons and all. They have their different teachings, may mga iba't ibang paniniwala. But then again, until I came to a conclusion, yung last part, if there's one law in the Bible na parehong lahat sila nagkakasundo, it's about love. Love one another, love the Lord your God. Yun. Love. Okay? Next. Sana ito. Yeah, someday, sir. Yes, we can still meet someday. Okay. Nick, salamat, sir. Yes, thank you, Ryan, for your question. And Edwin, sir, ano po specific religion niyo? Christian, INC, Jehovah's Witness, etc. Okay, specific, mga born again Christian. Born again Christian po. Sir, what is your main goal of living? Main goal of living. Higher, ano na, beauty queen pa to, beauty queen question. Main goal of living. Medyo deep eh, no? Ako kasi medyo gusto ko yung, when I answer question, I would, much as possible, something came from the heart and at the same time here. My main goal in living, because I do recognize that I'm just simply borrowing time. Humihiram lamang ako ng oras sa oras na binigay sa akin ng Panginoon para mabuhay. Okay? Is that as much as possible, marami akong ma-influensyahan ng mga tao na gawin yung tama, na gumawa ng tama. Na-protektahan, ito one of my goals in life. It's actually to protect the environment kung ano yung meron kami ngayon sa kabundukan, dito sa amin sa Pampanga. Our ancestral land that's the only thing that is left for us, not just for us but for the next succeeding generations of Aitas. Na kung hindi namin ito mapoprotektahan is kumbaga paano na lang yung magiging future ng mga katutubong Aita, mga batang Aita, the next generation of Aitas na susunod sa amin. So that's another one, to protect, preserve and protect yung ancestral land. The next is to influence others as well. And then, if there's one more, and which is supposed to be, should be the first one, is to, ito may kinalaman to dun sa aking belief system, is to honor God dun sa mga bagay na ginagawa ko. I'm not a perfect person, I'm not a perfect guy, as what you may have seen or watched on the videos on the YouTube or internet. But I try to be, hanggat maaari sinusubukan ko gawin kung ano yung kaya kong gawin na tama. I'm still the normal guy, the same person as some of the people that you may know. I have flaws, may mga kakulangan din ako sa aking sarili, may dark sides din actually. So yan. So, yan. Mabuhay ng walang sinasasagasa ang tao, or wala akong inaagabyadong tao. Maging mabuting impluwensya sa iba, maparangalan ng Diyos, at maprotektahan ang kapaligiran at ang kabundukan. So I think for now, that may have been, my main goal in life. So it's a long shot, actually, especially for protecting our ancestral land, because I really have to study as well. Kailangan ko pa rin mag-aral for that, and to set as well as to be a good leader, to be an example as a good leader as well in our community someday. So yun po yung ilan sa mga bagay na gusto ko, or one of the things that I would really like to work on in my life. So, thank you, Ma'am Edwin, for that question. Ayan. Biyaya ni God, kasi ngayon lang na-proven. Okay. Thank you rin po. So, yes. Hopefully, I meet you someday. So, why some other religion or tao when it comes to terrorist? Bakit Muslim naisip ng mga tao? What about the other people na ibang religion? Okay, good question, Ma'am Swin. Because it is what is being portrayed in every aspects of news channels and social medias. Movies per se. Alam niyo po ang isa sa mga naka-apekto kung bakit terorista kadalasan tingin sa mga Muslim? Movies. Imagine, when you make a movie and you make Muslims as terrorists in a movie, hindi lang naman isa, dalawa, tatlong tao nakakapanood doon. Okay? countries, peoples who are actually eager to watch movies with subtitles that they can understand. And when they see, malaki po kasi yung epekto na tumatatak sa isip ng tao kung ano yung napapanood niya. Okay? What you watch on TV may have something to affect on what you believe in. Okay? So, on how Muslim is being portrayed in the news before. Okay? Ito po ay isang malaking naka-apekto talaga sa kung paano tinitingnan ng mga tao. Yung pagtingin talaga sa Muslim. Okay po? And then, mga news channels, tapos kung ano pa yung pinapakita sa mga international news, okay, kung ano po yung mga nangyayari. Let's say, for example, Iraq, sa iba-ibang lugar, yung mga war zones, okay, yun po yung malaki talaga na nagiging influence para isipin ng mga tao na when it comes to say Muslim is na-associate nila to become a terrorist. Okay? Kasi you will only realize few things kapag na-experience mo siya firsthand, like when you try to live with the community. And yun yung isang bagay na walang access yung mga tao in terms of knowing the Muslim community kasi yun nga, the problem of distance. And then yung isang bagay lang na nag-feed ng information sa kanila when it comes to the identity of the Muslim is the news channels and the social media and movies. So these are the three things na nakaka-apekto dun sa kung paano tinitingnan ng tao yung Muslim and then na-equate nila as terrorist. So yun po yung isa sa mga main reasons why bakit na-equate nila yung ibang tao for that. Ay yung Muslim is into a terrorist. And what about the other people na ibang religion? Okay. Ibang religion, let's say for example, the Jews. We all know what happened to the Jews, okay? Sa mga Hudyo, alam naman po natin yung Holocaust na ginawa ng mga Nazis. Okay, parang sila yung naging minority during that time, and they were experimented by the Nazis na ginawa silang guinea pigs. Pinagdiskitahan ng mga scientists ng mga Nazis dati. So yun yung dahilan kung bakit naapektuhan yung basta kung ano yung finifeed ng media sa atin, sa mga tao, yun po yung nagiging reality nila. Okay? So your next question, Ederlyn Magora, Sir, bakit po may frat sa university nyo? Di pa bawal yun. Napanood ko po kasi kayo sa Mars bago po kayo. Paalam, pinasalamatan yung mga ganyan. Yes! Definitely. Okay, next na po tayo kay Miss Ederlyn Magora. Okay, let's talk about, ito po ay aking opinion as fraternity, frat member. Again, another, okay. So, sabi, frat sa university nyo, di ba po ba bawal yun? Okay, bawal. And speaking of bawal, bakit po ba siya bawal? Okay? Let's trace back muna po bago nagkaroon ng mga ganitong news sa mga balita. Ito po ay simple lamang na discussion when it comes to the creation and the establishments of fraternity here in the Philippines. Fraternity po it's a good thing. It's a brotherhood. Okay? Kaya lang nagiging masama lang po siya. It's because po ito yung hindi maganda yung news o yung balita na pinapakita ng media sa tao. Kaya nagiging masama siya. For example, the mga recent news about yung mga napatay ng kanilang mga fraternity members due to hazing, yun po yung nababalita. But all the good bits about it, hindi po nakikita yun. Because those are something personal and exclusive para sa mga fraternity members. Now, let's talk about why is there hazing. As far as I remember, hazing is about Noong mga time po kasi we're going to trace back the times of the Marcos regime. Ito po yung panahon ng diktadurya. Baka po isipin nyo bakit Marcos na naman? Okay? Hindi po, kasi po dito po nag-progress yung mga samahan, okay, sa mga universidad. Ang martial law po ang nag-trigger ng creation ng mga fraternities, okay, sa mga universities. Hindi lang po sa UP, okay? Even sa different schools, meron po mga fraternities. Now, during those times, para makakalap ng information ang mga kapulisan, ang mga kasundaluhan, is kailangan nilang infiltrate yung mga universities nito. And when it comes to infiltration, spy, okay po? Yeah, sasali po yan sa mga organizations, sa mga organizations na gano'n. Now, to salain, para masala kung sino yung mga seryoso na gustong sumali sa mga ganito ay kailangan magkaroon ng parang screening. Okay? Screening po ito para malaman kung ang sumasali ba ang goal talaga niya is sumali sa brotherhood or hindi. Okay? Or mangi-spy lang siya. Kasi kung mangi-spy ka lang naman tapos padadaanin ka sa sobrang hirap na hazing, alos mamamatay ka, bakit ka pa sasali? Kung mayroon namang ibang means para makakuha ng information. So yun po yung bit of information na reason kung bakit nagkaroon ng creation ng kung bakit umusbong yung mga fraternities sa mga universities. Okay? Now, when it comes to hazing po, these are the practices before na nag-start nga ng panahon ng martial law. However, there are some organizations who did not hindi nila drinap yung kumbaga inuphold yung tradition. But there are some other fraternities and organizations. Mind you po, hindi lang po fraternities and sororities yung may mga initiations or hazing na tinatawag. There are other organizations din po na merong ganun. Okay? And then what happened is that in-uphold nila yung tradition na ganun practice hanggang sa hindi na po siya nawala. Kaya po, every time na may napapanood kayo ng mga news about sa ganitong issue, yun po yung nafe-feed na information sa inyo na kapag fraternity, sumali ka, pwede kang mamatay. Okay po? Kasi yun talaga yung i-feed ng media sa inyo. So, yun yung dahilan. Okay? Kung bakit sa ibang university bawal po talaga yung fraternities and sororities. But for the University of the Philippines po, iba po ang kalakaran namin pagdating sa mga fraternities. Nare-recognize po ng university ang mga organizations na ito. Okay? Kasi po malaking bahagi po sila sa pag-uphold ng disiplina sa universidad. Hindi po ito yung puro tipong rumble, away, hindi po. Ito po ay marami ka pong bagay na matututunan. At sa aking experience, marami po talaga akong natutunan in terms of handling a project. Nagkaroon po ako I was given a chance to handle what do you call this? Projects on how to maximize yung mga tao. Paano paano mag-assign ng mga tao, paano mag-handle. Yun, malaking bagay po na natutunan ko sa university yun, to which hindi ko yun, kumbaga yung natutunan ko na sa tingin ko ngayon, na ko yun for skills ko. So, Ma'am Edreline, sir, na-hazing din po ba kayo? Hindi. Hindi na. Kasi noong mga panahon namin, kami na yung transition period. Kumbaga, we do not recognize hazing anymore as part na, ano tawag dito? Hindi na siya need ngayon kasi it's not martial law anymore. If there is some sort of, kumbaga, ano tawag dito? Kung mayroon mang test na ginawa sa akin, it's about mental test. Tinetest yung utak ko kung paano ka mag-handle ng situation. So yun po actually mas mahirap po ang mental test kaysa sa physical test. Okay? So, bakit? So we realize, kumbaga we discussed that if we are training to be intellectual people, why do we have to test them physically? Kasi kung tinitry naman talaga natin sila to become, magagaling na tao, ang galing nasa andito, hindi sa katawan basta. Katawan, the physical is just a portion of it, but we should train more kung paano mag-isip, kung paano mag-handle ng mga projects and how to handle people and how to communicate with people. So to me, never. It didn't happen anyways. So, but I appreciate yung mental test because it's really, there are some ideas na noon ko lang na-realize and it somehow changes my ability to think, to think clearer and to be motivated. Yun. Actually, it's one of the best trainings I've had in my college days, to be a frat man, really. So yun. Like example of media, nag-salary, wait, where are we? Fraternity, we have some counterpart, which is the sororities. Well, every fraternity in different universities, they have their sororities. It's a good actually to join sorority. I'm not telling you this, to influence you, but to be an empowered women, you should join sorority. Empowered kasi, okay, whenever we talk about women here in the Philippine settings is that we always see women as sa bahay. Okay, sa bahay lang. You go to clean the house, take care of child, take care of your husband, this and that. And you don't have much time of you yourself as a woman to pursue your education or your career in life. But being a sorority is actually, I've seen quite, some of my thesis, sa mga kilala ko din, na malayo yung naabot nila in their career. And they're set to make, kumbaga naging game changer ka rin sa community. You're actually leaving a mark of, you're leaving a mark in a change in the society. Empowered women, then you have the ability to voice out what's not being voiced out as a woman. Okay? Nagkakaroon ka ng boses and then pantay na pagtingin. Hindi lang pantay, kumbaga respeto as an equal. Okay? Kung ano yung kayang gawin ng lalaki, kayang gawin ng babae. That's what I think yung practice about the sorority, which is pantay na pagtingin sa lahat. Okay? Yeah, it's a good thing. Well, I'm not telling you this for you to join, okay? I'm telling you this because this is what I see. This is what I observe. And it's actually good. To me, as a guy, bilang isang lalaki, finding a partner, especially for women, parang gusto ko may sarili siyang desisyon, sarili siyang boses. Alam niya kung ano yung gusto niya. Alam niya kung ano yung gusto niya. At alam niya kung ano yung gusto niyang marating. Hindi lang basta mag-alaga ng bata at hindi lang alagaan yung partner niya. But she knows what she wants to do na para magkaroon din ng change or influence sa ibang tao. Okay? Hindi lang sa kapitbahay, hindi lang sa community, but to be someone na titingalain din ng mga tao. I mean, let's just look at Gabriela Silang. Okay? Let's look at those people, high power, kumbaga, okay, Miriam Defensor. Okay? Miriam Defensor na lang. Everyone would say that Miriam Defensor has been the president we never had. Okay? It's just unfortunate na namatay siya. Maaga. Actually, there was a time na, yes, sana naging presidente na lang din siya. So that's the effect, okay, of an empowered woman. That's an effect of an empowered woman. And in the sorority practice, that's what you are being trained of, to set an example, to set a goal in your life, na hindi ka lang basta sa bahay, but you are a woman of the society. Okay? So ganun din sa mga lalaki, na you are not just to join because para may katropa ka or whatever, barkada, how do you call it? but this is for you to be better of yourself. Okay? So yun po. Mamaya tayo dyan, sir, buhay Pinoys. Okay. Saan na tayo? Sir, bakit may frat? Okay, tapos na tayo. Saka may babae rin. Okay, tapos na rin po. Explain as read. Paano yan? Like example of media, pag nagsala religion Muslim, mas binabanggit talaga ang ay Muslim. Kaya nalalahat ng Muslim. Pag ibang religion, nagsala, tribo lang. At ngalan nilalagay. Mama Srin, it's about, ito siguro I think, try to create more venues on how are we, non-Muslim people, would really appreciate yung community. The community, the Muslim communities. Try to create more channel. Alam niyo po ano yung pinapanood ko? Yung ano ni Sir Manny Piñol. Okay? And I've seen, kaya mas lalang, sabi ko, uy, parang gusto kong pumunta na tuloy ng, actually gusto ko naman talagang mag-immerse in the Mindanao areas to visit more places there. It's just that, yun nga, pandemya tayo ngayon, so yun. Pero as I watched through Sir Manny Piñol some videos, mas dahil tuloy ako na-excite to know more about the Mindanao area. For you, Mama Srin, I'd like you to create more channel on how are we going to know more about the community, and what are the good things about being a Muslim. So that's what ito yung, kumbaga, this is a time right now of to create more content na magiging na mas mauunawaan naming mga non-Muslim yung kultura, yung practice and all. So yun yung siguro I think masasabi ko na kasi if we are not to counter on how the social media or the media is portraying us, okay? Walang mangyayari. We're still gonna have the same problem or issues. Okay? That's why I'm doing this, because ay tayo nagsasalita. Because in the previous times, kasi when it comes to the media, ang laging pakita ng social media or the news is napakahirap ng mga katutubong Aita, this and that. Okay? So yun, parang madumi, uneducated, this and that, na walang masyadong but me watching all of those news, parang hindi naman totoo. Okay? So if that's what you're feeling, right? If that's what you feel somehow when you watch news or some information on social media channels, then I suggest you do the same. You create more venue, you create a platform where some non-Muslim people who could watch and gain information about about what is it really like to be a Muslim. Okay? So create more platform. Nang sa ganun mas maintindihan. Kasi if we're not going to do that, wala. Sinong gagawa? Di ba? We're gonna still face the same problem every now and then. And mamanahin din yun ng mga batang susunod sa atin. So I suggest, if you have time to do it, please do so. Okay. Safeguard, yes, meron po. Part of it is actually it was actually yun yung I was able to buy my truck, Marco. And it really actually, yes, maganda. Well, yes, one of these days I'm gonna make some video all about Safeguard and all the things na ginawa all the things na lahat ng bagay na nangyari after yung Safeguard. Well, one of these days I'm gonna create a video for that. Hello, sir. Yes, na Edeline, okay na po. May naka-upload din kasi ibang channel na. That's my... Yes, sir. I'll try to do that kasi sabi ko nga, I'm trying. This is my first time doing a live and answering all of these questions. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do whatever the means para mag-umokay yung channel ko. Well, thank you for that advice. Ang isang Norman King ba ay my girlfriend na ngayon nagtatanong kasama ko si wala. I'm single po. I'm single, ready to mingle. It's, dati may niligawan ako, kaya lang, wala eh. Pinagtagpo pero hindi tinadhana. But now I'm just simply enjoying my singleness. I'm not afraid to meet other people if it's somehow yun. Single na single po. Okay, charot lang po sir. May balak talaga ako sumali. Akala ko kasi hindi nyo papasin kapag sinari. You change the perspective. Sorry. Yan, yes, Miss Edeline, yeah. Thank you for that question. At least may clarity tayo ngayon kung ano yung ano. Ang hirap kasi pag ang source lang natin ng mga is the social media and the media as well. Dapat kausapin natin yung may mga experience talaga when it comes to that. And yung mga tipo na hindi ka ini-scam, ganun. Okay? Hindi yung nakikinig tayo dun sa taong wala naman talagang experience to that. So yun po. Yeah, Miss Independent. Now. Okay, kinilig. Kinilig ah. Save pambansang sabon. Well, actually, yeah, kind of pambansang sabon. So yun, we're almost an hour and a half now. So yeah, thank you po sa mga nakikinig hanggang ngayon. No? Maraming salamat po. Yes. Hindi nyo lang kung gaano nyo ako napasaya. State University, marami para mas ma-appreciate it. Yes, definitely. I can put it on my checklist to visit MSU, Marawi. Yes, speaking of, sabihin ko na rin pala. I'm actually an avid photographer. So, might as well, kung may mga alam kayo na locations na pwede pong mapuntahan, like, kapag na-lift na po itong pandemya, at pwede po natin mapasyalan, if in case, makapag-travel na po ako, pwede na akong mag-visit sa mga communities, is, you can message or send some information here sa YouTube channel. You can communicate with me, and good. So, I usually take pictures a lot. So yeah, I'm an avid photographer. Mahilig po ako mag-photos and document. So I'm using Nikon D5600. Ito po ay sponsored by Nikon. Nikon, thank you. Marami na po akong utang na documentaries na hindi ko pa nagagawa. So sooner or later, pag medyo okay na po yung schedule, I think I can produce more portfolio for my sponsor. And anyway, you can check my page on Facebook po for some few stories that I have uploaded using my camera. Hindi ko pala ako nagpapasalamat. Marami po. Sa mga sponsors ko soon, I'll make some videos. Yung medyo professional naman ng content, hindi yung practice. Okay. So yes, it would be one of my checklists to visit. Yeah, why not? Speaking of MSU Marawi, you know what I have in mind? Yung napipicture ko up until now is yung nangyari. So I'm really interested on what is it really dyan mismo sa lugar po ninyo para mas maunawaan ko, para mas maging holistic or buo yung understanding about the situation and of course understanding more about the people in Marawi. Yun. Pagdating sa pag-aaral, yes. Okay, good. Ma'am Edreline, yes, my FB page po ako na hinahandle din so far. Just search Norman King. Yun po yung aking FB page. Aside from my personal, yung personal ko, hindi ko masyadong inaano kasi personal po yun. Although I'm still posting, you can search Norman Freeman for my personal Facebook account po. Yan. Po ba kayo gusto mag-aral? Super late ng tuition fee. Yes. Yeah, let's see. If there's I think I have to gather more information first. Para na sa ganun, mayroon din ako mapresenta sa community namin. If in case may mga interesante na gusto mag-aral sa Mindanao area. But I do know there are some who already went there for studying as well. Not in Marawi, but in other university, another school in the Mindanao areas. Yes. Yan. Yes, I might check the website now. Thank you, Ma'am Asrin. Oh, yeah. Oo nga pala. Teka, may print ba ako? Wait, kukunin. Teka. Namanhid lang yung pa ako. Sabi ni Sir Buhay Pinoy sa bayan ni Juan. Ang ganda, sana all. Kunin ko lang yung print ko ng mga images ng mga photos ko, okay? Sandali lang po. Hey, eto na. Ay, baliktad. So, ayan po. Ito po yung mga sample shots or sample printed photos that I am really interested in taking of that. You know, I'm mostly fond of small things like insects, ganun. So, yan. Actually, medyo high definition to. Medyo ano lang po sa feed sa webcam. So, yan po. Piniprint ko sila. Iba po kasi yung feeling na pag nakikita ko yung shots ko in print versus ina-upload ko lang siya sa social media. Kasi pag sa social media, parang pag na-post mo na siya and then nakakalimutan mo siya, natatabunan siya ng ibang post mo. So yeah, I print them for it to remind me of the things that I really love the most, which is photography. So these are first few samples. Ito rin po. Nice. Pictures have memories attached to them. And as far as I remember, itong picture na to, it talks about, whenever I see this, it brings back memories of me visiting Davao, Eden Garden, tapos nung lumibot kami somewhere in Mindanao. The food, yan, it has some memories. So, yan po. Ito is somewhere in Pulag. Okay. Ito sa amin lang yan. So, yan. I like nature, especially sa mga yung symmetries. Yan. Yung mga paborito kong minsan. Parang kasi yan eh. Parang nature's architecture yan eh. Na tingnan mo lang, kumbaga pansinin mo lang sila, marami kang magandang bagay na makikita at marirealize. Okay? Na inspired by nature. And of course, sunsets and sunrises. Well, mostly sunrises lahat yan. Okay? Dito ay sunrises lahat. One of my favorite things about sunrises is that the feeling nandun sa taas. Okay? You have the ability, yung transition ng light from darkness to light. Okay? And doon makaka-capture mo siya. And there's parang it always tell you that there's always hope. Okay? After this darkness, there will always be light after to this. So yun, it gives you more patience about, parang binibigyan ka niya ng hope, to continue each day. So yan po. So those are the sample photos that I usually do. Mayroon din po when it comes to, I also take pictures when it comes to, nag-share din ako ng stories, photos for yung mga traditional practices. And yun, this is actually one of the important things about me posting images on social medias, to provide context on the images, why we are doing that practice. So for example, I took a photo of butchering a pig. And for some other people, it may be gross kasi nga, social media to. So when you go social media, everything will be public. Whatever the comments of these people watching or seeing it, you cannot control what they would be thinking about it. But for you to have, for you to give more justice about dun sa ano yung gusto mo ipakita, you have to provide the context, the perspective, why we do things like that, especially in our part as, on why we do, bakit namin ginagawa yung mga ganong practices pa rin namin. So yeah. So that's how I, as much as possible, maximize yung social media accounts for this kind of materials or the art that I'm used to doing. Okay? You can check your website. Yes, guys, questions dito na. Yeah, sulitin niyo na po. Actually, sir, sa Christian area po ako nakapag-aral. I support MSC po because residential po ako. Yes, that's good. Makipagkaibigan sa ibang religion. Okay? That flexibility and respect. When you are actually, pag marami kang kaibigan na iba't iba yung paniniwala, mas lalong dumadami yung kaalaman actually. And those are actually one of the few things that I'm doing. As much as possible, I gathered more information about their experiences in their lives or in sa kultura nila. Kasi imagine, Pilipinas, I mean, ilang ethno-linguistic group na meron tayo? There's almost 130 plus ethno-linguistic groups here in the Philippines. And ganun karami yung mga lingwahe dito sa Pilipinas. Now, kung alam pa lang natin ay Tagalog, English, Ilocano, Bisaya, or sa Muslim, kung kulang-kulang 10 pa lang yung nalalaman mong language, hello, we still have 80 plus or 90 plus more languages na iba't iba yung salita, iba't iba rin yung paniniwala somehow, di ba? So, ganun ka-rich yung ating kultura dito sa Pilipinas. Marami tayo mga bagay na pwede pang i-explore dito or marami pa tayong dapat na alamin dito sa Philippines. Versus dun kesa naman yung inaaral natin yung K-pop or yung mas binigyan pa natin focus yung K-pop language or the Korean language or the Japanese language. Diba? Mas maganda na aralin muna natin sarili natin. Like for example, the baybayin, the use of scripts, these dying scripts. So yes, explore them first before explore others. Diba? Sir, saan po yung view na yan? Yung mga view na yan, mostly for my, okay, saan ba yung mga lugar na napuntahan ko? And usually I take photos at? Dito sa amin, sa may Clark area, may mataas na areas dyan na pwede kang for sunrise. And some other sunrises were in Pulag, sa Mount Pulag po yun, and Sagad. Yun lang yung dalawang mataas na lugar na napuntahan ko so far yung nakapag-take ako ng photos. Dito sa amin sa Porac at saka sa Mount Pulag. Saan ba yung mga lugar na napuntahan ko? I've been to Banawe, Sagada, Buskalan. Buskalan po yung kay Wangod, kay Ato Wangod, yung traditional na nagbabato. And ito pala. Yeah. I have my own This is actually way back May 23rd. Yeah, 2013 pa to. Itong centipede. Tapos ito naman, nung second time ko na pumunta ng Buskalan. And this is my baybayin inscription, Malaya. And this is actually the watermark, baybayin inscription na nilalagay ko sa mga photos ko, sa some of my my portfolio photos. Yeah. I've been using Malaya baybayin inscription for my photos since 6 years now. Yes. Parang yun yung identity ko as photographer. Yun. Shout out tayo kay Benz Marvelon Tan. Yan. Thank you po sa panonood. Yan. Thank you. Sir, saan po naman ng mga language, Ilocano ba or Kapampangan language niya? Sa Ilocano, Ilocano is napanak ijay Kalinga Payaw. When I was a kid, galing ako doon. Actually, doon ako lumaki ng bata for around like 3 to 4 years old. So 2 years. Duwa nga taon nga di makalak ijay Kalinga payaw. Gamin na kasaunak ti Ilocano, ngambat titmat lang, haangat nga diretso. Pero no, kaawatak, no adda ti Ilocano speaker ita, kaawatak ti no anya ti sa onda. Haanda nga kaya ti ilaklako na kinjay. Kaawatak, ibig sabihin naiintindihan mo sila, hindi lang kayo ibenta doon. Tapos, although hindi na ako makapagsalita ng diretso, but still, I could still understand yung pag may nagsasalita, mga Ilocano speakers. Kaya yung Kapampangan naman po, syempre, at ko Pampangan eh. So, ako naman, muna ako man, pisalimuhin, pa-checking gani Pampanga. Makaintindi na ako man po makapagsalita ng Kapampangan. Ang po makabasa ako muling Kapampangan. Ito naman yung masanting kaya kaming katutubo. Buri na sabihan, sagli kaming mibiyasang magsalita hanggang aliwang lingwahe. Basta dinan mo kaya mo at least, mapilan bulan banta, kabisado niya yung kay. Yung salitang, sa salita na rin tao buri ning abalong karelang lingwahe. Ito po yung Kapampangan eh. So, kaya po Kapampangan ko rin. Okay. Balik tayo. Kasi itawis pa po ako. Dialekto ng Ilocano, taga Solana, Cagayan ako. Solana, Cagayan. Opo, yes. Nadaan ako minsan dyan. Nung nagpunta kami ng Cagayan, Solana. Hindi ko na po alam itawis. Yan. Although may family friend po kami sa may bandang, saan ba to? Kalanguya. Pero hindi ako marunong magkalanguya. Family friend lang. Sa Malkat family, sa may Nueva Vizcaya. Bayambang Nueva Vizcaya. Ilocano sir, nag-like ka. Hanmat sir nabatikmat lang, hanap kasalita ti diretso kat ti salita nga haan ko nga amon. Okay? Pero Tagalog, abay, kung Tagalog nga ay mabilis din lang mag-Tagalog. Doon Tagalog talaga yung aking unang salita. Yun ang tinuro ng aking nanay nung ako'y bata pa. Gawa ng kapag Tagalog kasi ay mabilis kang matuto at hindi ka mahihirapan sa paaralan, sa eskwelahan. Gawa nga ng yung mga nagtuturo ay Tagalog. Kaya Tagalog po ang unang lingwaheng tunuro sa akin ng aking nanay. Gawa nga daw ng para hindi po ako mahirapang intindihin yung nagtuturo, lalo na yung mga teacher. Kasi nga nung sila ay nag-aaral ng bata pa sila medyo nahirapan kasi mga guro ay Kapampangan at Tagalog nga ay medyo yun nga, nahirapan. Kaya Tagalog po ang aking unang lingwahe. Ayun ho. Okay, so next. Tagalog from Quezon Province. Actually, when it comes to Tagalog, ito yung observation ko. When it comes to Tagalog speakers, there are different dictions or, the way they speak. Okay? Meron naman mga Tagalog ay iba yung May mga Tagalog na malambing, pero seryoso. Okay? Iba-iba. The way Tagalog is being spoken is quite different. If kung Tagalog speaker ka at makarinig ka ng ibang Tagalog, ma-decipher mo, maintindihan mo agad na, teka, ibang Tagalog yung sinasalita niya. At for us, lalo na sa akin, mabilis ako makapick up sa mga ganong instances, lalo na sa pagkausap ko. Minsan, nagagaya ko yung diction or the way they pronounce. Yun. Tapos meron na traditional pakpak artist na sambal sa pakpak. Pinsan, medyo traditional pakpak artist. I'm not sure what that is. But, okay, regarding with our language, ang language po namin ay Mag-Anchi. Ito po ay sa Porac, Tarlac, at yun, Tarlac, Porac part. Mag-Anchi. Ito po yung sarili namin talagang languages, an Aita. At doon ko ina-identify yung sarili ko as Aita Mag-Anchi. But aside from Aita Mag-Anchi, meron din pong Aita Mag-Indi. And Mag-Indi is another language which is in Porac po ito. Sa Pampanga Porac, meron pong dalawang language, that is Aita Mag-Anchi and Aita Mag-Indi. So these were the two. Yung tatay ko, naintindihan niya pareho. Ako, partly naintindihan ko yung Mag-Indi kasi iba talaga yung mga words nila minsan. And medyo may pagkamalalim siya. So yun. Iba rin po yung sa Bataan, which is the Ambala. Iba rin po yung sa Zambales po kasi, yung sambal na tinatawag nila is mayroon siyang, halos nagkakahawig siya ng Mag-Anchi, pero magkaiba sila ng pronunciation minsan at medyo clear yung mga letters ng letters ng words ng sambal. Meron din pong Sambaltina, yun ang hindi ko alam. Okay? Tapos meron din pong Abulin naman, which is sa Tarlac. Ayun, medyo nagagaya ko rin yung kanilang intonation ng kanilang boses. So yun. Then, Marvel don't answer nga, ano po ang thoughts nyo dun sa dating issue about Kaliwa Dam project na itatayo dapat sa QC province? May mga ancestral land na di masisira pero yung dam is for benefit of mga taga Maynila. Okay, Sir Dance. Dating issue about Kaliwa Dam. When it comes to dam, okay, paano ba to? Ano po ang thoughts nyo? Thoughts lang naman, okay? Somehow opinion. It's not necessarily some sort of professional advice or anything. But here are my thoughts about them. First and foremost, you are to consider or you are to respect first. Kailangan ng maayos na free and prior informed consent sa mga katutubong nakatira doon sa mga kapatid natin sa Quezon Province. Quezon Province? Yeah, Quezon Province. Okay, ito ay naaayon sa batas, which is the RA 8371, na bago mag-conduct ng isang, or bago magpasa ng isang project, or magbigay ng certification na pwede nang ituloy, kailangan meron muna tinatawag na free, prior, and informed consent. Ito ay yung kakausapin yung mga community na maapektuhan ng project. Okay? Again, ulitin ko, community na direktang maaapektuhan ng project. Okay po? Na bakit ko po kailangang linawin to? Kasi ganito po yan. Within ancestral domains, marami pong mga, kumbaga, communities. Hindi lang isa, dalawa, tatlo, hindi marami. Okay? Now, ang ginagawa po kasi minsan ng mga investor or yung mga nagpapagawa ng project, kinukontsaba yung mga community minsan na hindi naman direktang tatamaan ng project. Okay? So kung ako na nasa kung ako na community na hindi naman ako direktang tatamaan ng project, kakausapin ako ng investor or yung gagawa ng proyekto at sasabihin, magkakaroon po kayo ng trabaho. Aba, syempre kung ako, hindi naman tayo direktang maapektuhan, pero magbibigay na ng trabaho. So sige, papayag tayo. So yung mga pumapayag minsan, yung mga hindi na direktang maapektuhan ng project. Kaya ang nangyayari, nagkakaroon ng certification na sige, go na kayo sa project na yan kasi umuo na yung community. Pero ang totoo, hindi yung mga direktang naapektuhang community yung nagbigay ng permiso. Kaya ngayon, biglang may lilitaw na mga community people na magwelga or magrarally kasi sila mismo yung direktang tatamaan kasi yung community nila yung lulubog. Okay? Kaya yun po yung nangyari last time. Ganun yung nangyari. Now, hindi ba pwede, sir, na puntahan silang lahat? Again, sino ba yung pupunta sa mga lugar na to? NCIP po. Yung mga personnel or yung mga tauhan po ng NCIP. And hindi rin po natin masisisi yung NCIP minsan. Bakit po? Kasi maliit po yung budget na binibigay or inaalat sa kanila. Wala pong ganun kalaking budget
para pondohan yung travel expenses minsan nila. Minsan po ang mga NCIP personnel natin o yung mga nagtatrabaho po sa field, minsan saktong-sakto lang yung kinikita nila at minsan saktong-sakto lang din yung pang-travel allowance nila para pumunta sa ibang sa isang community sa kanilang mga rehiyon. Kaya ang nangyayari, hindi kadalasan, hindi lahat napupuntahan, lalo na yung mga malalayo pong lugar, lalo na yung mga nasa liblib na lugar. Yun ba ang dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng mga certification minsan na nabibigyan ng mga certification ng mga ganitong project kasi sa mga ganong instances po. Okay? Napapa-oo yung mga taong hindi naman talaga direktang maapektuhan. Okay? Pero, pagdating po sa usapin talaga ng development, kahit sino pong community gusto ng development. Okay? Kahit kami po, gusto po namin ng development, pero dapat sa maayos na paraan. Okay? Bakit po nasabi ito? Imagine for the longest period of time, farm to market road, magbababa ka ng kalakal mo, kaya niyo po bang buhatin yung 30 to 40 kilos ng iyong harvest, pababa ng bundok ka? Lalo na kung trail road yan, pababa, walang maayos na daan. Like for example, yung road, farm to market road, kung wala pong ganun, ako na po magsasabi sa inyo, ayun yun kayo yung nakapira doon sa ganung lugar, ayun yun. Gusto nyo kahit paano ng konting kaluwagan na hindi nyo na kailangan buhatin ng pagkalayo-layo yung produkto para lang maibenta sa bayan. Okay? Iba po yung feeling, yung experience na nasa community ka na gusto mo rin ng kahit paano yung development. Wala pong taong ayaw ng development. Lahat po ng mga community ay gusto ng development. Pero dapat ay nasa maayos na paraan. Okay? Ganun po yan. Okay, so yan. Maraming salamat po. Nalinawan po ako. Yan. Maraming salamat din po sa tanong niyo, Sir Dens, para yan. Ang ano po talaga, ang goal ko talaga is para magkaroon ng mga, mabigyang linaw yung tanong natin. No? Kaya, hanggat maaari, sinasagot ko siya doon sa katotohanan. Okay? Yung mayroong talaga nangyari in reality, hindi lang yung sagot lang para masagot. Okay? Crafted thoughts lang. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Okay. Yes, we are mostly multilingual person. Yes. Tak-tak tattoo. Yes, ang tak-tak it's actually, wala ako pero just to show. Ang tak-tak is about, meron kang, alam niyo yung keloids dito. Ang tanong kasi ng pinsan ko is, sabi niya, may mga tak-tak artists na sambal sa Pampanga or sa mga pinutubo. Tak-tak for us, yun, naalala ko na, is ito yung tattoo system ng mga katutubo sa pinutubo area. Wherein, sinusugat or pinapaso yung skin para magkaroon ng keloid. So, mag-uumbok siyang ganun. So, it's either here. Yan. Minsan line or two rows na pa ganun. Column ba row? Column, dalawa. Yan. It's either sinusugat or gagamitin yung bagta ng kasoy para magsugat siya at saka mag-keloid. So, yun yung tak-tak. Meron din namang teeth chipping, yung tinataliman yung ngipin sa pinutubo. Pero wala na nagpa-practice na yan. May mga ilang tao na lang or may mga ilang relatives na lang ako na nakita na tinaliman yung ngipin. Wait. Yung in-laws ng kapatid ko, yun yung nakita ko na tinaliman yung ngipin niya. So, yun. Nakakain ka na ba? Salitang nag-double meaning. That's somewhere in Tagalog language. I think it's Batangas. Ikaw na, nakakain ka na ba? Oo, nakakain ka na ng double meanings. Sometimes. Yan. Yes. Ano pa? Mag-live ka post sa page pero makapalad naman mga iba fans. Basta lang ngayon. Walang iba naman ba? Sige po. Ba't di ko nga pala naisip yung kanina? Dapat nga ba pinost ko sa Facebook yung link? Anyway, next time, yes. I mean, una pa lang naman to. So yeah, thank you po sa suggestion. So I'll keep that in mind. I'll take note on that para marami rin Tsaka ayusin ko na rin next time kung paano magiging malinaw yung feed ng aking ng webcam. Ayun, so yes, I think that's all for for our live kwentuhan. That's almost 2 hours of kwentuhan. Ayun, maraming salamat po sa mga tiyagang makinig ng aking kwento. Doon sa mga tao hanggang 8 katao tayo kanina. But yan 4, 6. Sir, meron ka na po bang narinig or na-experience na binili ng isang capitalist yung ancestral land to gain profit without the consent dun sa community na directly natamaan? Na-encounter? Wala pa akong na-encounter. Kasi dito sa amin, hindi namin papayagan yung ganun. Pero may mga cases before. Ito mga ano lang, kasi ito yung mga narinig ko na lang sa mga nauna sa akin. Ibig sabihin yung mga unang leaders, may mga ganong cases. Pero as of now, in my time, sa community namin, wala pa. Okay? Pero wait lang. Without the consent dun sa mga community. If there is one big example about that kind of question that you're having right now, Ben's Marvel on That is, the Clark Green City. That would fit your question. Pero hindi kasi binili. Hindi kasi binili yung ancestral land in terms of the Clark Green City project. What I do hear about the Clark Green City project, it's actually part of the BCDA. And ito ay epekto ng isang pinirmahang batas ni Pangulong Fidel B. Ramos noon for the military reservation areas. Kaya mayroong mga military reservation sa mga areas ng ancestral domains ng mga Katubo na nasako. Kaya yun yung ginamit ngayon ng BCDA project para sa Clark Green City para gawin yung sa may Clark Green City. And to which there are few communities in there na inside that the project, to which wala silang masyadong say doon, or what, kumbaga hindi sila masyadong maprotektahan ng batas towards that kasi hindi masyadong magamit yung IPRA law. Although sinusubukan itong gamitin para i-uphold yung karapatan ng mga kapatid na Katutubo na matatamaan ng Clark Green City project. Pero yun nga, since it's a government project, hindi mo rin naman pwedeng pigilan yung government project. So what happens is that kailangan nilang mag-meet in between doon sa mga terms na pwedeng mapagkasunduan ng gobyerno at ng mga katutubong komunidad na matatamaan ng proyekto. So parang there should be a compromise about the project. Pero kailangan hindi ito magiging losing agreement para sa mga kapatid na katutubo na natamaan ng proyekto. It should still be, kailangan maging patas at maging nararapat kung ano man yung gains or benefits na dapat mapunta sa mga kapatid na katutubo na matatamaan ng Clark Green City project. So yeah, what are your thoughts about President Duterte? North American media portrays him as a man who makes wild claims and is violent. I'm trying to understand what's happening, but I don't really have someone who has an inside perspective. Kas, Pinsan, I can answer that question, but not now, I guess. It's almost 2 hours. Yes, sagutin na rin natin. Okay? President Duterte. Last na po na rin to for my thoughts about the President Duterte. Let's talk about first his attitude towards ano tawag dito? Tingnan muna natin yung character or behavior niya. Okay? Yung character or behavior ni presidente. The president kasi, before we had the President Duterte, we've had presidents coming from the Luzon area. Luzon meaning they're coming from the Christian community areas. And when it comes to Christian community area, there's this thing called yung kailangan, you have to uphold yung kanilang, yung kanilang mukha, or face, yung kanilang public figure sa tao, kino-consider nila yun. Parang yung image yun, yung image mo sa tao, kailangan maging malinis, maging maganda. Okay? President Duterte is quite different among any other presidents kasi he's from the south, from Mindanao area. You have to understand that living in the south is actually different from living in the north. But what I'm trying to say is that ano ba yung kulturang kinalakhan niya sa south? Ano ba yung klase ng behavior na meron sila sa south? Pagmumura in the south is just pwedeng sabihin natin na parang napaka-normal nun sa kanila. Like for example, the word yawa. Yawa is actually it's a bad term, or mura. That is pagmumura in their language. And that is the way they communicate, is parang that's very normal. Okay? If President Duterte is like that, it's because yung upbringing niya is dahil dun sa kanyang kinalakhan. Okay? Ganun siya lumaki. Yung kanyang makipag-communicate siya sa tao, just to him saying, fuck you, America, this and that, is nothing to him kasi walang impact sa kanya yun eh. Kumbaga, hindi niya masyadong ramdam yun kasi English language is not his first language. But you will not hear President Duterte saying yawa in public. Sa mga lahat ng pagmumurang ginawa niya, hindi, he can say putang ina in public because he doesn't feel much, parang there's not much of an impact him saying that. But he cannot say yawa in public because that's his first language and that has an impact to him. That's for the language use. Okay? That is how he's been, yun yung nakikita ko lang na scenario bakit ganun siya in terms of public speaking niya. Okay? Now, in terms of killing, okay, dun sa kanyang pang babastos sa babae. Again, you have to look at yung how women are being seen in the community. Paano ba yung pakikitungo nila in the community? Okay, you have to look at that. If in that community is hindi masyadong empowered yung women nila, or if in that community women are seen as inferior, I'm sorry for if there's someone hearing from that, because I don't know. Kung tinitingnan na mas makapangyarihan ang lalaki, siguro ganun na siya. But you have to consider na yun yung kinalakhan niyang setup dun sa kanila. Kaya kung bakit nadadala niya yung behavior niya into the position of what he's having right now. Hindi ganun kadaling i-suppress yung mga ganitong klaseng behavior is because you've grown into it. Kumbaga, lumaki ka na ganito yung behavior mo. And we know for a fact that being the father of the country or the president is a position na kailangan you are upholding a particular behavior or character kasi nakatingin sa lahat ng tao. But it's not as easy as that na hindi ganun kadali baguhin yung sarili mo or i-set aside kung ano ka talaga into that position. Kaya nga laging meron siyang script na kailangang basahin kasi kapag hinayaan mo lang siya ng magsalita na sa sarili niya na all the way through, I don't think magkakaroon ng magandang press con. Kaya nga parang yung mga press conference lately is hindi lang lately, but most of his press conferences, parang nagde-deviate siya doon sa script na ginawa sa kanya kasi nga, hindi niya matatanggal yung ganong klase ng way of addressing yung citizens. Okay? Now, when it comes to the killings, okay, medyo sa killings, siyempre kahit sino naman hindi, I mean, even us, okay? Kahit ako, as a president, parang yung magkakos ka, yung magsasabi ka ng isang statement that might cause or might trigger yung mga people in, you know, into that, you know, lalo na yung doon sa mga sa drugs, sa mga drug killings ngayon. But there are meron kasi, okay, we cannot just simply, hindi ko pwedeng i-dig deeper for this discussion yung sa drug war kasi that's there's a different more realities into that, and that might endanger some of pwedeng buhay ko at pwede rin buhay ng ibang tao. But the thing is, merong ibang usapan para doon. But for the president himself, okay, ganun siya. Kasi nga, ganun siya lumaki in his community. Now, yung kanyang pagiging balimbing ba tawag doon? Is minsan yung, kung tulad ng mga pangakong binigay niya dati na pupunta ako sa West Philippine Sea, tatayo ko yung bandila ng Pilipinas, mag-jet ski ako for that. At tas ngayon parang napaka-friendly na niya sa China. Okay? Tapos parang biglang twist. And for some other person, may ibang namumuno na maaaring, sige, ito na lang yung sabihin ko para para okay pa rin ako sa mga pinamumunuan ko. Parang, may iba kasing leader na sasabihin niya kung ano yung gustong marinig ng mga followers niya. Meron namang mga leaders na, hindi, ito yung nararamdaman ko, ito yung nakikita ko na epekto eh. Ito yung sasabihin ko. Now, he's actually, kung ganun yung pakikitungo niya ngayon sa China, it's because may nakita siya, probably, na hindi natin alam. May in-offer sa kanya na probably hindi natin alam at hindi niya rin kayang ganun kabilis ipaliwanag sa atin kasi nga, hindi naman lahat. Kasi nga, meron siyang kailangang sundin na script. Okay? Tsaka alam naman din natin na ang upuang yan, napaka-controversial. Okay? Hindi yan yung upuan na pag umupo ka dyan, hindi ka madudumihan. Okay? Once you sit onto that throne, or sabihin natin, once you sit onto that chair, you cannot be the same person as who you are before you aspire to sit on that chair. So every body changes. Now for us na para sa ating mga taga-subaybay or para sa ating mga citizens, what we are to do is to always criticize because kasi kung hindi tayo mag-criticize, nobody will hear, and then they will keep still doing the same thing. Just like, for example, what's happening in the corruption of some government institutions. Kung walang magsasalita, walang makakaalam. So that is the essence of, para maging yun. So yun nga, sabi nga ni Chuck Palapar, yes, tama. Kasi kung pwede niya sabihin yun all at once sa atin in public, wala, magugulo yung team nila. Kung ano ba dapat yung pinapresenta ng niya in public. We are simply, whoever that person is borrowing that chair in his time, in his or her own time, they were not those person who were day before, bago sila umupo sa upuang yun. Kaya napaka-controversial ng mga taong pinapaupo natin in public. So that's why hindi rin tayo pwedeng maging close-minded when it comes to criticizing them, because one way or another, they were once like us. They were once like community member of any other places here in the Philippines. who may have wanted change in this society, but somehow you have, malakas yung puwersa talaga ng corruption or ng malakas yung puwersa ng, kumbaga, the only thing that we can control is what we think, what we feel, and what we say. Okay? Other than that, we cannot control the way other people thinks, the way other people do their stuff or do their job or whatever. So yun. Yes, kaya ang hirap niyang explain, ang hirap talaga niya ang hirap niya yun. Ganun siya kahirap. So yan, Highlight Sports. Wow, with a heart. Thank you so much, Highlight Sports, for watching. Ayun. Oh wait, there's a last message here. But naka-hide pa siya. Miss Edralyn Magora, ma'am. I think finifilter ng YouTube yung question niya because it might have talked about something like a war. Yes. Kitas? Even social media have filters about these issues, these matters. Anyways. Yan, I think, ayaw niyang ilabas yung buo. Ayun. So, yes. Thank you po. We have extended for 16 minutes. 2 hours and 16 minutes na tayo. So, yes. Maraming salamat po and I hope for the next live. Again, I'll take note on the suggestions. So for the next next time's live, question and answer portion. So yan po. Yes. Tingnan na to. Last na to. Tama. Lahat halos kasi ngayon ay partisan at close-minded na. Let's think wider and not to talks. Di ganun kasimple ng pagtako ng isang estado. Yes, tama po kayo, Sir Chuck Palapar. Yes, it's not easy. Minsan nga, sa unit nga lang ng household, ang hirap na, di ba? Yun pa kayang estado, buong estado na, mas lalang mahirap yan. Especially different organizations and different departments in the government. Tapos, take note, napaka-regionalistic pa natin. That's why it's really hard. Hirap-hirap talaga yan. So yan, thank you guys. I think it's almost, it's late na. So yes. Thank you for, Gia Gutierrez, yes. Yes, thank you. Salamat. Okay, then, share ko na sana natin ito. Sorry, sir. Yes, yeah. Yeah, sorry, pero yes, we have to end this for now. Okay? We could have other discussions next time. So yeah, maraming salamat po and have a good evening and good morning sa iba. If there is someone watching out there in a different country, yeah, Kas, thank you. Yes, sa lahat po, maraming salamat. Okay, Dennis Marvelontan, yes, I can agree to that. We cannot use that. It cannot be a valid reason, but we will never know once we're there. The only thing that we can say are our opinions, but yun. So yun, have a good night, everyone, and thank you very much.